21 races led to Phoenix Raceway. We've traveled that path, seen the racing and storylines, and it's time to cap it all off. This is the Midwest Sim Racing Association Truck Series by VFW. This is the season finale, 150 by Robotic. Let's go racing. Welcome to the virtual Avondale, Arizona. Emerson Arden, Jacob Zala, and Trey Shuttlesworth join the coverage this evening at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. So glad to be here for the finale, the season finale to the MSRA Truck Series by VFW. It's been a wild ride. Emerson, let's get right to it. All four championship drivers enter this evening on the same page. No discrepancies, no bonuses, weird formulas. Just go out and beat the other three guys to the checkers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the roads they have to take to get here. Now, Alan Dobbs had, I think, if you can call it easy, because nothing in the playoffs is easy, but had, I guess, the easiest of the paths just because of the points he had. He was kind of just sitting pretty. If he just showed up and did his thing, he got in, got out of those races clean. Those last three races, he pointed his way in relatively well into the championship four. But Noble really started to bring some momentum with him. He got 2 wins in the round of 8, and he's really looking forward to this round. Of course, didn't get the job done necessarily at Martinsville, but of course with Vegas and Talladega, Chris Noble has the winning momentum on his side. Matt Dyer was just very consistent all through the round. He was up front, up near the front, and he was able to point his way in. And John Binder was in a must-win situation and claimed the checkers as his teammate went spinning behind to win his way into the championship for knocking out his teammate who missed it by 2 points. There's a whole different leverage of momentum throughout the championship floor, but like you said, they're all reset at 0. First one to the checkered flag at the end of the evening is your champion.
Technically reset to 4,000, but yeah, essentially it is 0. Everybody's starting from scratch. Everybody's starting from the same playing field. That's what's so big about this playoff format is you enter, much like, I guess, into the World Series or into the Stanley Cup Finals or what have you. Everybody's back on the same floor. Everybody's back on the same grounds. You don't have the record that you took throughout the rest of the season. Talk about a perfect season in football. And the Patriots, they got to 18-1. While they were 18-0 going to the Super Bowl, then lost that game 18-1. They just missed out on that perfect season of 19-0. But those 18 games, they no longer matter. It's just about that one, and it's a matter of if you go to 19-0 or drop to 18-1. And I think that has to be kind of on Alan Dobbs' mind, is you can't let it go now. But at the same time, we've heard the NASCAR drivers talk about the fact that, well, the hardest part is over. The hardest part is getting here. This is a bit easier. This is just one race. Just go out there. You got 150 laps in this case to go out and do it. This is the easy part in comparison to everything else that these drivers have had to endure throughout the season. Certainly, I think this is where it gets just a little bit easier. Pressure is taken off if you're Alan Dobbs. You know you're quick. You know you've got speed. Maybe even so for Chris Noble. Matt Dyer, John Binder, maybe a little bit on notice. Of course, the win total's not in their favor, and they kind of squeak by in comparison. But I still think each 4 of these drivers have a great chance, especially with this track update, to make it in. Well, they've already made it in, to go ahead and win now this championship, the MSRA Truck Series, presented by VFW. We talk about the track update here, Emerson. A lot has changed. A lot is the same, however. Here is a new look at the Phoenix International Raceway, or Phoenix Raceway. I'm so used to saying Phoenix International Raceway, but the Phoenix Raceway, as we now know it. A little bit different in a few different ways, a few key ways, I'd say. Of course, the start-finish line is moved. Turns 1, 2, and 3 are in different spots. Technically, they've been flipped around. But the asphalt itself, the racing, what you race on is the same corner to corner. It's a little bit disjointed because of where you take the green flag, so a little bit different in that regard, and restarts maybe are changed a little bit, but once you get into that rhythm, hitting one corner after the next, it's much the same.
Yeah, absolutely. A track I consistently love enjoying, coming here on the sim. Got a brand new, I guess, fresh coat of paint, I guess you could say. And the restarts are pretty much the thing that everybody's looking forward to. You look towards turn 4, you no longer have to worry about getting loose off of what used to be turn 2 on the initial starter restarts because of cold tires. It's now about surviving the stretch of from the start finish line through the dog leg into turn 1 that widens and narrows into turn 1, the flat long sweeping corner. I say flat because it's flatter than what is now 3 and 4. 8 to 9 degrees of banking through 1 and 2, 10 to 11 and 3 and 4. And literally, it's going to be mayhem watching these trucks fan out and then narrow into the corner, just trying to survive. You'll see drivers up against the wall trying to diamond the exit. You'll see drivers under the yellow line trying to get the shortest way around. As they'll get their way down the back straightaway, they all try to single it out as they head to turns 3 and 4 for the first time at a different rate of speed after the initial start, and it'll be all from there.
The overall lap record here in 18.870 set by Helio Castroneves back in 2017 when IndyCar still visited the facility. The NASCAR Truck Series lap record, a qualifying lap set by Eric Jones in 2015, a slew of lap records in 2015. We'll be looking at the 26.179, which is a little bit faster than these guys have been going so far today. It looks like a 26.495, about 0.3 off so far, fastest time in practice. One of the big things to talk about with this new Phoenix Raceway, I think that we cannot forget, is pit lane. You pit now out of turn 2 instead of out of turn 4, where you do still cross the start finish line under your trip down pit lane, but it's so much longer, so much slower. It feels like it takes up a lot more of the lap. You do not want to have to pit under green here. If you can at all avoid pitting under green, you should. And that's, a lot of racetracks, it's a short run on the pit lane, only as much pit lane as you need. Here, I think it's just a little bit different. And really, the pit lane isn't a whole lot longer per se. It's just that it ends up in such a weird way and takes up so much of the lap.
Yeah, absolutely. That pit lane, again, I think you'll really notice that the pit lane is substantially different. When you see them on the pace lap, these drivers have no pace vehicle for nearly a third of the lap, just because how long the pit lane wraps around. And it takes such a shortcut. Of course, you're at 45 miles an hour down, or 40 miles an hour actually on the pit lane, but it's such a shortcut inside the racetrack. It's so awkward. It just funnels straight in to the mayhem that could be awaiting there entering turn number 1. It's a very awkward pit entry to get on. Well, the pit entry, I guess, is still the same, but the exit and the traveling really amongst the second half of pit lane is really, really different. And if you haven't really had much time traveling down pit lane, that could be something worth just trying a couple times, just getting used to.
And these drivers will have to wait until the iRacing green flag, at least on initial restarts, starts for these races for the Midwest Sim Racing Association this weekend. I know that's been a concern for a lot of iRacers out there that have gotten their first chance at restarting here at the Phoenix Raceway with this new update. As we can see the glow-in-the-dark, I say glow-in-the-dark, but the light-up cactus here at the start-finish for the flag stand. Yeah, that is a big concern for a lot of drivers. You do have to wait until the iRacing given green flag on the initial start. Some various trucks throughout the field. Here's a good one that I didn't even mean to go to right away, but some trucks that are going to try and spoil the party. Here is, of course, Jacob Shorb, a league owner, if you will, here in the MSRA. He's not the only one, though. I think Robert Anderson is a good pick to try and maybe spoil the show a little bit. Matt Knight could be one in the number 11 car that you got to watch out for. Richard Clement, potentially. I really got to look at guys a little further up, potentially, as well as maybe John Gifford in the 82, or even Corey Hassler, the 25. A few different guys throughout this field that absolutely could play spoiler and kind of get in the way of this championship battle, although they will, I think, try and stay out of the way as best as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, you have to think, and you have to go back to just last week. Corey Hassler had a rough go. When we talk about what happened at Martinsville, we come to another short track here, two completely different animals, but still considered a short track in many NASCAR standards. And what better way, to kind of put that behind you and set yourself off into the off season with a great little run here at Phoenix. And you look at John Gifford, who was entering turn 3 on the final lap last week at Martinsville, spins through the center of 3 and 4, finds himself out. I think he wants to leave with a win. That would be the only way to even somewhat put that behind him, knowing that he's not competing for a championship tonight.
You see practice the practice time sheet, if you will, on the left side of your screen. Alan Dobbs, fastest so far at that 26.495 that I had mentioned a little bit earlier on. Not too many trucks left on the racetrack still practicing. Most of these guys have, it looks like, called it an afternoon, or at this point really a night as far as practice goes, but still, of course, qualifying and racing left to go. The whole top 7 drivers are all parked currently, but Chris Noble is one that is on the racetrack. Here's a look at the FSM number 53 rolling around. It looks like turns 1 and 2. That's going to be so weird for myself to get used to. I've known this place as, you know, the previous layout, if you will, for oh so long. I don't know when I'll be able to get used to calling 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 3 and 4, 1 and 2.
Yeah, honestly, same. It's a welcome change, I think. You know, it's going to keep us as broadcasters on our toes. But it will be intriguing for the longest time. I think we'll have no trouble on the initial start, but after that, I think we might start to fall into some old ways.
Yeah, and of course, you've got turn 4 here at Phoenix. We can take one camera to kind of show it. This one might work. Turn 4, well, the old turn 4, now turn 2. You kind of see it there on the left. It used to get so loose, and you talked about it on cold tires. It used to get the truck so loose, or the car is so loose out of that corner. I think we'll still have problems there, especially on a long run. Tires will wear out, and you'll still have those problems persisting, but it's just not going to be at all the same. And I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but I would watch for turn 2 to be the potential trouble spot, really that entire end of the racetrack. Now, with the restarts where they are, they'll be tame on the grandstand end, if you will, but down towards Rattlesnake Hill, they get into turn 1 now as it is. Yeah, the guys might be digging down low trying to find something, and we might have some incidents. Qualifying now beginning here from the Phoenix Raceway. The 5-minute timer working its way down to 0. Here's Alan Dobbs coming in as, I think, easily the favorite. 9 wins on the season. Going to go out for qualifying.
Absolutely. And this is about sending a message early and really setting yourself up. Alan Dobbs has actually kind of struggled with qualifying the past few weeks, starting really in the middle of the pack. But he'll find himself, he'll work his way through the field. But I don't think he wants to deal with any of that coming into tonight. If he's going to win this championship, I think he wants to go out there. He wants to dominate the way he has on the practice charts. We'll watch him come up way up the track, coming out of turn 4 to begin his first time to lap.
I got to say, I do love the blue on this truck. Not only does it fit in with the walls here tonight, but man, that reflective blue with the not so reflective blue decals all over it, that looks good. He does get the fence there. That's going to be a problem, but Alan Dobbs is the kind of driver that he's going to reset, go back to the pit lane, get back at it, take another crack at things, and should still have a decent time. And we've only got 17 trucks on hand so far. He won't be starting all that deep in the field as Richard Clement does provisionally go to pole for now, the first car to turn a lap. Here's Sean Giroux, though, working on the backstretch. He'll go down to turn number 3. Matt Knight on the speedway as well. Robert Anderson, Chris Noble, Matt Dyer. Let's take a look at these two. Here is Chris Noble. I think just had to abandon a lap. But Matt Dyer is on a heater with this 2 truck.
Yeah, Matt Dyer, again, one of the championship 4 contenders, looking to also send a message tonight. He hasn't really visited victory lane recently, but how about top of the chart provisionally for now on the pole position, looking to improve upon that. Signs to secure that spot at the top of the timing sheet right now. But Matt Dyer, you know, looking to show that his little stretch of, I can't even say coldness because he's been up there, just hasn't been able to seal the deal. Will he be able to do it tonight? I'd imagine that starts with a great qualifying position.
I love watching these guys drop down into turn 3. Just watching the nose dip into that corner and go into that higher degree of banking as Matt Dyer goes even faster, a 26.989. So, yes, trucks have gone faster, and, well, here goes one. Alan Dobbs faster yet by 4.5 tenths. Alan Dobbs bringing the heat at Phoenix.
Yeah, Alan Dobbs he's not messing around tonight. He is here for one goal and one goal only, and that is to secure a championship. How about Chris Noble? The other one of those championship contenders, nearly catching the wall there off of turn number 2. And you can just see how much these trucks are pushing. Chris Noble has a lot of hype to live up. He's got 2 wins in the last 3 races coming into tonight's championship finale. And Chris Noble right now will put it, that's 6 out of 7 times. Looking to see if we can improve upon that mark.
Not too bad. 6 out of 7. I mean, 6 out of 7 is not great, let's be honest, but I think there will be trucks that come in behind him in qualifying, and that's what you got to look at here for Chris Noble. We'll see what he can improve upon. Again, love watching trucks dive into that corner, up out of turn number 4 in front of all the grandstands for everybody to see across the line. The FSM Customs truck goes 3rd, so the 53 Silverado picks up a good bit of time up to 3rd place. Now, it's all John Binder. Does he go faster? Does he at least beat out Matt Dyer, who is now the slowest of the 3 championship competitors that have turned to time? We'll see where Binder fits in.
And John Bender, remember, he won last week at Martinsville. That is a short track. And again, two completely different animals. You saw him get a little sideways there, center off there off a turn.
Faster than Dyer.
Turn 4, and he does go faster than Dyer. Looking on the second lap now, can he go even faster? John Bender showing, even though last week he was in a must-win situation, that's not going to matter coming into tonight. Everybody resets, and he's looking to show that he is very capable of winning the title.
Like the way I saw that truck dive back down to the bottom of turn 2, get a late apex, drive up out of the corner. Does he go faster? 436 deficit is going to hold, so he does not go any faster lap number 2, but is 4th so far on the timing chart. Still really solid there for John Bender. Looks like most of the field, if not everybody, done with their qualifying effort, if they're going to take one. Looks like 10 trucks have qualified so far. Stand by, we've got the grid on the way here from Phoenix in the season finale 150 by Robotic.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway. 17 trucks on the grid getting ready to go for it this evening in the season finale 150 by Robotic. On pole, it's going to be none other than Alan Dobbs, championship favorite in the number 22. John Gifford starts to his outside. Starting inside of row number 2, however, is going to be Chris Noble, one of the other championship competitors. John Bender also vying for a title in the 4th starting spot. Starting from 5th this evening, it's the other of the 4 championship competitors. The number 2 of Matt Dyer, Justin Carey, with a win on the season, rolls off 6th. Starting 7th, it's going to be Matt Knight in the 11, Robert Anderson 8th. Starting 9th and 10th, Richard Clement, Zenla Collins.
We look back to row number 6, it'll be the 95 Evan Longacre, the 30 of Jacob Shorba. Back to row number 7, it'll be the 88 of Sean Giroux, the 25 of Corey Hassler. Number 8, it'll be the driver number 3, Rick Webb, the 23 of Greg Newsom will start to his outside. Row number 9, it'll be only the 75 of Michael Sestini.
17 trucks ready to go for it. Let's see how it all boils down in the Copper State. Working down to turns 3 and 4 for the final time before getting rolling from the Phoenix Raceway. Watching the entire field get ready to go at it. Green flag is out. The cactus is green. There they go. Out of turn number 2, and already Noble loose on the inside, gathers it back up, loses spots.
That's going to be hard. Oh, we got a truck sideways in the middle of the field. That's the 47 of Robert Anderson going round.
Everybody scrambles. We continue racing under green flag. The 47, a massive dent in the rear end of that truck. He continues on despite the disshapen tailgate. He will move on. He'll continue. We stay green somehow. Alan Dobbs, though, driving away.
Yeah, Alan Dobbs showing early again that he is not here to mess around. And I know we still have, 2 stages to go through. Of course, stages at the end of laps 45 and lap 90. Here goes Sean Gifford going around. He saves it there on the flat of the racetrack, but that's going to hurt. He was way up there in the 2nd position.
And so now, the championship 4, the top 4 at Phoenix. How about that? Lap number 3 and the top 4 have already risen to the front. This is how it generally works. Through all the years of running the championship races at Homestead and now to Phoenix, with this format, NASCAR has found that usually the championship 4 all tend to run up front until something happens. It's what we've got now as Bender goes purple, a caution flag in the rear.
Caution on the speedway. It looks like that's going to be the 88 of Sean Giroux. And again, he was running up there. He started about 13th, so he had a few trucks behind him. And it looks like Justin Carey might be the other truck in that. And so we'll have to see exactly what happened. But Sean Giroux brings up the first caution of the evening here at Phoenix Raceway.
Take a look back and try and find out what happens with these drivers. As you mentioned, Sean Giroux, big part of it, it looks like. And he was a good ways ahead of Carey. Carey's the blue truck bringing up the rear of the field. This is out of turn 2, the lap leading up to it all, I do believe. And the 49 checks up. He just kind of goes around. I didn't see any contact.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of looped it there in the middle of the field. Looks like no harm, no foul. Maybe the rear tires on the 88 a little harmed, but other than that, looks like everybody will be able to continue. Just kind of snaps on him.
This might be a better look at things. Look like Zenla Collins is numbered as the 49, scored as the 29 this evening. He just gets loose into the corner. You can see it from the onboard there. Truck just gets loose, and that's about it. He's along for the ride at that point. Thankfully not collected by anybody. Well, he'll live to see the next lap.
Yeah, I think getting down there into turn 3, he was approaching Zenla Collins at a rate of speed who probably not anticipating as Collins. He was battling, I believe that was the 82 of Gifford, who just got it back up to speed as well. So Gifford being off pace after his slight slide on the front straightaway, and then Collins having to accommodate for that, I think kind of caught Sean Giroux off guard. He kind of locked the brakes up a little too, or he stabbed the brake pedal a little heavy, and the truck did not like that, I don't think.
Yeah, and even with the extra banking down there in what is now turns 3 and 4, it seems to be that way, that you still got to be careful with the way you set that up. Don't want to throw it in too tough or anything. You still got to be careful. Can't abuse the truck too. And that tends to be, I think, the theme at Phoenix regardless. You got to be easy with things.
Yeah, absolutely. This track, I think, really rewards patience, of course, just because of the way the tires wear and the way you race your competitors here. It really rewards patience and I think applying pressure. And again, that midfield, it's really hard to really measure up to see exactly what you're going to end up doing in the middle of the pack, because you have to factor in so many different things. But yeah, we're getting ready to double up here. We're getting ready for another restart.
Field doubles back up, 17 trucks in all. Justin Carey, the only driver to have visited the pit lane under this yellow. There is his number 21 car. Truck in this case. I have not covered a truck race since I don't know when. I haven't covered any of these truck races for the Midwest Sim Racing Association by Truck Series by VFW, but I don't know when the last time I had to say truck was on a broadcast. It's always cars of some sort. Sports cars, dirt cars, stock cars, doesn't matter. It's always been cars. I don't know when the last time I had to talk about a truck was. Well, we're going to give it a shot here this evening. Lap 7 of 150. Come around and take lap number 8. These guys get things rolling once again. You can see the number 22 back in charge in Avondale, Arizona. Green flag flies. We're right back at it at Phoenix. Once again, the championship 4, the top 4. Work down to turns 3 and 4. A lot of 4s. I'm AC4 if you want to count that. And Bender, very loose in turn 4. I don't know how many more times I can say 4 here, Emerson, but it worked out there as one truck has some problems further back. Giroux falls behind Sestini. Carey moves up, but these guys up front doing some battle. Dyer down low. Does he have something here on Dobbs? maybe not quite yet.
Yeah, Matt Dyer, he just had to pull a power move around John Binder there on the restart. He has 33, put the 2 truck up into second position, and now he does look at that double 2 right in front of him as he closes up here on Alan Dobbs. But Dobbs, I think this is going to be rare. I think somebody applying this much pressure to Dobbs, or maybe Dobbs might have only a short run truck. I find that hard to believe, but that could be the case. Or Matt Dyer's just really turned up the heat after running through a few laps under green-black conditions.
Great look at things here from the back end of Dobbs' machine. Dyer really tried. He's got something out of each corner. He's really got a lot of speed, it looks like, on corner exit. He's going to now dive down to the bottom side of turn 1, looking for greatness on the inside of the 22. Nothing just yet. It's very easy to go down there. It's very hard to go down there and hold your speed.
Absolutely, and on the other side, it's very easy. If you're on the outside of a truck that's trying to overtake you, you can just kind of keep them pinned down there. You kind of, control the destiny of the inside truck when you're up there. And, of course, not only that, but you get the run off the corner a little bit better than the inside truck, and you're able to kind of clear backside caution on the speedway.
And that might give the lead to Matt Dyer. Yes, that's giving the lead to Matt Dyer, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. A lot of trucks involved further back.
Oh, no.
Jacob Shorba's destroyed.
Greg Newsom involved. I have to double check on that truck because I thought that might have been Chris Noble. That is Greg Newsom in the 23. Sean Giroux looks like a part of it as well.
Looks like maybe just a couple of trucks further back get a piece. I'm not totally certain. It doesn't look like too many guys are really all that damage out of there. So there might be more puzzles, or I guess pieces of the puzzle here, but at least as far as massive damage, I only saw the couple of them, mostly Jacob Shorba. And look at this pack. This might explain a good bit of it. So Newsom and Shorba battling down to turn 1, and Newsom, he just never made the corner at all.
That is
Oh,
Sestini, and around goes Sean Giroux trying to avoid it. Once again, he'll light up the tires. They are limited in their set of tires. I'm certain of it. They only have 5 sets, 4 in the pits. So Sean Giroux better not light up those tires too much.
That was something.
Yeah, as far as the inside, Greg Newsom, I'm going to be honest, I think he forgot their turn there.
Well, they renumbered them, but they didn't move the corners at all. But for Newsom,
Oh, Sestini.
And he gets a little bit of damage, maybe, I think, from just the hitboxes, but that is some avoidance. Once you're committed to rolling the top side, that is some pretty supreme avoidance there. But the bigger story is going to be, I think, the lead change out front. It's lap 14, and now Matt Dyer is in control of this race. We've got a report, though, down from pit lane. Jacob Zala working the pits. Buddy, what you got for us?
So it looks like the 23 of Greg Newsom, from what I talked to from Jacob Shorba, it looked like he got into the 30, and it sounds like the 30 said that there was no brakes on that 23. I didn't get a chance to talk to Greg Newsom at all, but unfortunately for Jacob, that's going to probably end his night.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, lots of damage to the number 30 of Jacob Shorba. We got Jacob S reporting on Jacob S. Jacob Zoller reporting on Jacob Shorba there. But yeah, the 23 ends up being able to continue, kind of, but Shorba's done. Just damage on that truck. A few more in the pit lane, it looks like. Zenla Collins at least going backwards. Rick Webb as well. Maybe just, I think, moving around in positions as far as getting into pacing. A lot of red and green moving around a whole lot, but lap 15 will complete it will complete a 10th of this race so far. The number 2, the number 22, your front row, and those are not Keselowski and Logano. Those are Dyer and Dobbs. And it's Bender in 3rd, Noble in 4th. And Emerson, I think you've known me well enough at this point to know that I look at numbers and patterns and things. We've got the entire championship 4 all lined up numerically right now in front of the entire field, getting ready to bring us back to the green. Lap 15 going to give way to lap 16. This time Dyer in control. The cactus lights up green and we're off and away. Yellow? Not yellow. Not yellow. There we go. We're not yellow, I promise. But Dyer is working to try and beat Dobbs on the backstretch. I don't think it's going to happen. Dobbs is fast.
Absolutely, Alan Dobbs. He's also going to have that outside lane. He might have to use that right front up a little bit if he's going to maintain that, well, I guess reclaim the position at the front of the field. But Dyer takes that little shortcut down there all the way to the pit exit line, and he might have the advantage going into one again on the inside lane. But Dobbs is going to have to use his stuff up. I think clean air is going to mean a little bit more than a little bit of a heated up right front. But right to the tailgate, looking to the inside, now pushing him down the back straightaway.
But does he have to use his stuff up, or does he just have to ride? Is he potentially riding? We saw how much faster he was in qualifying. We saw how much faster he was in practice. Is he riding right now and giving these guys a false sense of security? We've known how fast Alan Dobbs has been all season long. 9 wins. The next best I've seen is, what, 3? 2? We know how good Dobbs is in these NASCAR trucks. And a big crash. Hassler involved. Hassler and Gifford, I think. No, Longacre. Oh, and Giroux piles in. Newsom can't be left out. Wow.
I know it's only 4 trucks, but that's a massive pile up on the back straightaway. And third time tonight that drivers in the second half of the field bring out the caution in this championship finale.
Well, we talked about it. Phoenix is no easy racetrack to get around, and this is going to happen right on a turn 2 that we highlighted. It is the trouble corner here at the Phoenix Raceway, and you're going to see exactly that for Corey Hassler. Drop, well, I guess not drop, but kind of jump up out of turn 2. The truck gets loose and just takes Longacre along for the ride. And isn't that the story of Evan Longacre in 2021? He's always the victim, and I really do mean that. Always the victim in these accidents.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're one for incident points, I think he'd be up there, but I don't think he's really the cause of many of them.
Not at all.
It has been a rough season, Evan Longacre. Of course, a driver who led the National Series point standings for a bit, but even then, he's hit a little bit of a rough patch. And just I don't know, that's so out of his control. And Hassler just lost to Sean Giroux. That time, he can't keep the truck from hitting someone.
Big crash on the backstretch here at the Phoenix Raceway. Several trucks in the pit lane now as a result. One of those will be the 88 of Giroux joining. Interesting. Oh, he just went by his box. He's in the number 30 box of Jacob Shorba, so he's going to have to reverse and get into his box. It looks like Hassler, of course, in the pit lane. Newsom's truck is all kinds of junked up. Justin Carey is on the pit lane, but I don't think he got any damage or anything in that one. John Gifford, however, did also pit under this yellow. There he is. No damage to speak of on the 82. However, Evan Longacre worked down the pit lane, and his completely battered number 95.
Yeah, it looks like Longacre might be trying one of those, you know, get as much optional repair as he can and beat the pace truck out, but I don't know. That thing looks hurt. Man, oh man. And when something happens right there off of turn 2, I know obviously Longacre had nowhere to go, but as far as, you know, with Newsom and Giroux, there's just nowhere to go. There's walls on either side. There's nowhere to escape, and you don't know where they're going. They're just kind of bouncing all over the place, and before you know it, you're in it.
A few trucks taken up in this one. It is lap 21 now of 50. Weather report here at the Phoenix Raceway this evening. Pretty mild. 70 degrees, 72-degree track temp. Very calm winds. It's really not that hectic of a place here in November. You know, I've been to Phoenix many times. I lived in Arizona for a long time. This fits the bill for a November evening down in Avondale, Arizona. Yeah, this is right about what you expect. Now, that said, today does mark exactly 3 years since I've lived in North Carolina, so maybe I've forgotten a little bit what the West Coast is like, but yeah, this feels exactly like you'd expect in, well, early November.
Yeah, not that, I mean, obviously a night race, you know, will help out, I guess, a little bit on keeping the track cooler, but the track barely any temperature in the track. You'll see these drivers kind of struggle, maybe really tight. This track is already kind of hard, as it is when battling, you know, a tight race vehicle, and then the cooler temperatures is not going to help that. The wind's not really playing effective tonight as they were only 3 miles an hour, but again, that 72-degree Fahrenheit track temp. You'll see these guys struggle, I think, really on entry and on exit.
Buddy, getting reset, ready to go. Dyer and Dobbs, the front pair. A look at some of the drivers throughout the field, kind of how they're looking through this one. Love these onboards we're able to look at as we get ready to go back racing here from the Phoenix Raceway. It does give a few new perspectives. Get ready to go back by racing. Lap 22. Going to give way this time to lap 23. We still got over 20 laps to the completion of stage number 1. Green flag flies. We're right back at it. Dobbs and Dyer side by side. Dobbs digging down low on the yellow line. Does he have something this time? I think he does.
Boy, this is gonna be fun. Here comes Sean Binder trying to take second away from Dyer. It's gonna have to be a masterful set if he's gonna take the spot, but he's gonna keep it down there. He's gonna use the dog leg, I'd imagine, to kind of help himself. He will a little bit, but he won't keep any advantage there that he had on Dyer. Here comes Dyer back on Dobbs.
So these top 4 are the 4 trucks that you're watching for the championship. Dobbs comes in with all the wins, but none of the benefit. Dyer, Noble, Binder, they come in almost even footing. Noble on a hot streak. Binder won last week to make it. Knocked Gifford out of the way. And they're all up front, although I'm starting to see some weakness, I think, out of this 33 truck. He's starting to fall back as his run just goes on. Well, as the heat cycles really go on, as the tires get more worn, it seems like the 33 is starting to waver just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't quite know what the set is under that 33 truck, but if there's any way to kind of adjust it to kind of be suited for these resets, I think when you think of Phoenix, you think of it being a long green flag run kind of track, but we kind of had a struggle here with these MSRA trucks getting going here at Phoenix. We're going to get a little bit of a run here, but then you got to think about the stage caution as well in 20 laps. Binder, I think he needs a little bit of green flag running here, and he might struggle in the early part.
Noble's got some damage on the right side of his truck. Let's see if we can get a look at it here down to turn 3. Look on the right side of this FSM 53. Look at that. He has definitely been in the wall at some point. Jacob Zala working the pit lane down there. What you got for us, Jacob?
So I talked to the 25 under the last caution. It sounded like his truck got a little loose, trying to keep it. He was trying to keep speed with the 44 who was in front, and he was trying to save tires, and it didn't work. And then with that being said, Evan Longacre said that someone got a little loose and took me out, gave him plenty of room, head on into the wall, and Evan had 8 minutes damage, so his race is predominantly.
Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, the 25 just got loose at a turn number 2. I still want to call that turn 4, Emerson, but yeah, that is turn 2 up there that 25 just got loose out of, and, well, I mean, that was that. A really straightforward incident. I would like to know, I would really like to know exactly how the 53 and 33 are handling these 2 trucks in particular, Noble and Noble and Binder. Dyer seems to have things under control, but I'd like to know exactly how these 2 are starting to handle as the run goes on. Matt Knight in trouble. Is he pitting? No, I think he had a problem there. He's destroyed. The motor's like, did he leave tape on?
Yeah, you know, that might be the case. Yeah, we've had a lot of short runs here, and maybe Matt Knight, yeah, I guess he got to take the tape off, but certainly he could have taken some tape off on cautions. Maybe he adjusted tape for short runs. I'm not entirely sure, but at the see here, it might have just grenaded on him here.
Zenla Collins is in trouble. We are under yellow, so 2 replays that we have to go through simultaneously. This is what's just happened to Matt Knight. This is down to turn 3.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that, to be honest. That wasn't the greatest angle to show us exactly what happened into that corner. We'll take one more look at Matt Knight's situation, and then we'll go to Zenla Collins in trouble now and bringing out another caution flag. This is Matt Knight down to the corner. He's got Zenla Collins behind and Clement in front. He just gets right up the racetrack. I think maybe set the corner and then got hit from behind, and there was smoke out of that machine. You can kind of see it there. I'm very surprised that that is enough to expire that motor. Then something happens to Zenla Collins up ahead, and we'll rejoin this, well, not live picture, but more live than the previous.
Yeah, so Collins on both ends of this here, the turn 3. Oh, wow.
Consecutive laps, turn 3, somebody gets hit, and first it was Collins hitting Knight. Then it looks like the 3 of Webb hitting Collins.
Yeah, Rick Webb. You know, maybe. I mean, I know he didn't mean to get into Matt Knight, but if Matt Knight was looking at that, I'm certain that he think Karma got Zedla Collins there, because that is just wild timing. One lap it's Collins on the other end, and this lap he's just hanging on as Rick Webb. I kind of overdrove that entry.
Yeah. Yeah, to be clear, that was the incident that brought out the yellow flag. What was Zedla Collins getting turned around? Matt Knight's issue was a little bit different. Zedla Collins will beat the pace truck out of pit lane. Top 4 in the championship, still the top 4 on the racetrack. And, well, we had a few more pit stops into that one. The biggest one, I think, is going to be Justin Carey. He's the only one that doesn't seem like he's got a ton of damage on his car. He's going to cycle at a 9th. Hassler's got damage. He's 10th. Zedla Collins is going to pass Rick Webb, who's on the pit lane. So Webb is on the pit lane, but has that right side damage, and, of course, just dented up the nose of that truck, sending the 49 of Collins. What's funny, you know what? He's teammates with Matt Knight.
Ah. I don't think that played a part into it. Maybe it did, but certainly I think turn 3 is just, I think, becoming calamity corner, as we know it, as most of these incidents tonight have been, just as a result of the awkwardness of turn 3. Even though that entry hasn't really changed that racing conditions, but I guess it is different enough to these drivers.
Like, nothing really exciting otherwise, to be honest. It's been a very calm race up front. Of course, these guys having whatever troubles further back and bringing out these yellows, but the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 even, very calm. Really nothing big that I can think of. We're still wondering about these differences in maybe truck handling with Binder and Noble, but they just like a little bit slower on this short run. We'll see if ever we get a long run tonight. Now the stage is 45, 90, and, well, 150 will take us to the end. So 45 laps, and 60 to the end. So the first stage break is at the completion of 45. The next one will be at the completion of lap 90. And you wonder if we're going to get a long enough run to see how these trucks change over the course of a run. But regardless, green flag going to come back out. Lap 33 going to become lap 40. The cactus is back green. We're racing again to Phoenix. Into turn number 3. Binder firing off much better on this run. Noble going to fall back behind a little bit. Gifford going to put the 53 under fire. 1 lap complete from the restart.
Remember when John Gifford was in second and spinning across the infield? Yeah. He's back up here with the championship 4, and I think in Gifford's eyes, I think he believes he should be a part of the championship 4, and I think that's the mission. That's a statement that John Gifford wants to make tonight. And he's recovered very nicely from the early spin, or I guess half spin. Now trying to get to the inside of the 53 in Noble with 10 laps to go in stage number 1.
Here we go. Noble going to challenge back down to the inside of Binder. Maybe that 53 isn't as asleep as we might have thought, as he is going to get very close to the 33 truck, and you can see Noble checks up, and he's going to lose 4th position. John Gifford going to work around the outside. The Great Lakes Motorsport number 82 taking over 4th place and finally breaking up these championship competitors. So you know what? Just as I said, maybe Noble wasn't asleep. Maybe he is. Maybe this truck just isn't going where he needs it to, when he needs it to, and how he needs it to. It just does not look nearly as good as Dobbs or Dyer. And for that matter, John Binder, he doesn't look great right now either. He's in 3rd. He passed Chris Noble, but when you got a lame duck kind of truck like we see in this 53 car, well, that's going to be a little bit easier to do.
Yeah, man, but this track, nothing comes easy, just because of the nature of it. I mean, they're off of turn 4. You see Noble right up against the wall. I mean, it's all about line. How about Gifford? I mean, just powering by all of these guys, trying to clear Binder there for that 3rd position, and almost back to that spot where he started in. Actually, John Gifford, he started in 2nd, yeah, so he's almost there.
Gifford is just... He's got something rolling, and I noticed he was one of, if not the best driver. It seemed like they didn't make the playoffs, or they didn't make this round of the playoffs, didn't make it to Phoenix. Of course, eliminated last week by virtue of the driver behind him winning, and that was kind of what did it for Gifford. The 82 almost deserves to be fighting for a championship, and it's clear. He's got speed right now. But, hey, that's the format. That's how it works, and I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people have had to get used to with NASCAR formats lately. That's the format. You've got to make the format work for you. When you don't, fortunately, you're not going to Phoenix fighting for a championship, and with 6 laps to go in this stage, he's just out here trying to best his points position.
Right. I think, I mean, I guess you could do a whole lot of, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Right, yeah. But John Gifford here, I think it wouldn't fix what happened in turn 4 of the last lap last week in Martinsville. But I think he'd put it a little past him into the off season. If he could kind of, end off on the high note that he did get another win at a short track with that, and then at the very least be competitive with these championship 4. And if he's thinking about returning to the series next season with the thought about contending for another championship, definitely, I mean, he definitely had the pace to do so this season. But here he is now on Matt Dyer. Is he going to be able to get Dyer here before the stage end? And that could kind of alter, if Dobbs is going to feel any pressure on the restart of the stage.
And it's not going to matter this early in the race as far as where Dyer restarts for this next stage, but you got to wonder if maybe he holds that stagger to the 22 going into the final restart of this race, whenever that may be, especially if it comes out late. If we get a late yellow and Dyer has the chance to line up behind Alan Dobbs in a restart, does he use the bumper for a championship? I'd hope so. I'd hope so a little bit.
I mean, we're at a short track, I think it. That being said, I mean, it's her championship. We're at the track that kind of promotes it. Why not? I mean, you gotten yourself to this point. Why would you just let it dangle in front of you? And absolutely. Oh, Bender up into the wall. Nearly. Noble has to take avoiding action. Did Bender catch the wall?
We almost Bender. I'm sorry. Has that joke been used yet?
No, it hasn't.
All right, well, we got it there as Noble's going to push up out of turn 2. Oh, man. This is great racing here for 4th. 3rd of the championship, but 4th on the racetrack. But, yeah, Bender a mistake at a turn 4 that last time. And now in front of these guys is Noble way up the hill. Here comes the 82 truck. Still challenging on Dyer. Is he going to try anything this last lap of stage 1?
You have to wonder how aggressive he's going to be with these championship contenders. Look at how high he enters. He's trying to get that nice diamond off the turn, but he can't get down there. I don't think he's going to have anything unless he sails it into turn 3, but I don't think he would for a stage position. Meanwhile, Alan Dobbs is coming to the line.
Stage 1 complete at Phoenix. Dobbs, Dyer, Gifford, Bender, Noble, your top 5. Clement, Hassler, Anderson, Webb, Sestini, your top 10. Sestini comes across the line, and that should give us the yellow here momentarily. There it is. Yellow flag out at the Phoenix Raceway. Tire Field going to come on by and collect the green and white checkered flag. But it's all Alan Dobbs out front, and is that any kind of surprise?
Absolutely not. I mean, dominated the season, dominated the practice session today. Was up there in qualifying. And he's been up here now. The only surprise is that Matt Dyer kind of didn't have anything for Alan Dobbs on that last restart. Had to get kind of caught up there with a non-championship contender of John Gifford.
But he did early.
Right. And it'll be intriguing to see if there's any adjustments made. Do you adjust for the short run because of the slow cautions we got there in stage 1, or do you think we've gotten a lot of the wreckers kind of out of the field right now? Do we kind of expect a long run here for stage 2? That'll be the question as they come down the pit lane.
Dobbs going to look for his pit stall. He is, of course, pit stall number 1 this evening after starting on pole. That's a big advantage at a place like Phoenix, being able to rip right out of the pit lane very easily. The pit lane exit line is very, very close to the end of that pit stall. Bender comes in, not Bender, Gifford comes in the pit second. There's Noble, Bender, Dyer. Top 5 as they came. We're not quite in that order. And the first truck off, likely going to be Alan Dobbs. Let's see, across the pit exit line. Dobbs, Dyer, Gifford. then Bender. Oh, Noble, much further back. That's different. That's not what I expected.
Well, remember, he had right side damage. Did he
Yep.
maybe attempt to repair some of that and in hopes that his truck will handle a little bit better? Maybe he can stick it to these guys a little bit more. With that being said, he's going to be put back here with a couple of trucks who struggled today, like Corey Hassler. And he might find himself in the middle of the Hornets nest when we go green here.
The right side of the 53 doesn't look a whole lot different. I don't think there's a whole lot that's changed there, but somebody who might know a whole lot more than we do right now is Jacob Zoll in the pit lane. Jacob, what you got?
All right, so I've been talking to a couple of our playoff contenders here. So Alan Dobbs had talked to me, and he said he feels comfortable with his truck. The looseness that he had at the start, he was talking to me earlier, his truck was very loose at the start. That's gone away. I also talked to Matt Dyer tonight, and Matt Dyer said the only thing he's going to be making is a right rear spring adjustment in stage number 2, or in the stage caution, which we are under right now, I believe. That's the only thing he's going to be making. And then I also just went and talked to 33 of John Bender, who said he feels like his truck is perfect. He needs to make a couple adjustments. He's going to see how those work. But he really thinks that he needs to work on his corners and work on the craft that he's running right now.
Working on the craft. That is the agenda for John Bender. Thanks, Jacob. I'll tell you what, having pit reporting being a thing lately, that's quite helpful, honestly, being able to talk to drivers and get some intel from these drivers. Emerson, we've done it, I think this is the 3rd time now. It really adds something, being able to talk to these guys, figure out exactly how some of them feel, if I can get the words out. John Bender saying he needs to work on his craft a little bit here for stage number 2. I think that's very, very helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. All that information we're not able to get just from the zeros and ones and the timing screen and of course the images the sim produces. It can only tell so much. We don't know what those drivers are feeling, and having someone being able to go down and get to hear firsthand from the drivers, maybe even in the thick of it, maybe hear some choice words as well that might have to be filtered out there, but right in the thick of it is something not normally that we're able to understand.
Lap 50. A wrap up here momentarily. Looks like 11 trucks, maybe 13 still with us, as a couple of trucks will join the field here. There's Matt Knight with his damaged 11, and Zenley Collins as well. They'll rejoin the field here in just a moment, but Alan Dobbs is going to lead us back to a green flag. Then it's Dyer, then it's Gifford, Bender, your top 4. Waiting for the signal from atop the flag stand. Green flag back out. 100 laps to go at Phoenix. Out of turn number 2, Dyer, Gifford side by side. The battle to the stage end, picks right back up, +1. Bender's there.
Yeah, Bender is there. He looks a little sporty right now. Maybe Bender made a slight adjustment to work his way on these short runs here. Hassler nearly in the wall behind. That could prove a pivotal of your Chris Noble behind all those trucks. Sideways is Gifford. Oh baby. Oh no, into the barrels. Oh,
John
and on top.
Gifford. Yeah, he's not driving away from there. If you're John Gifford, you are not driving away from that one.
Oh my goodness. And we talked about turns 1 and 2, what used to be turns 3 and 4, the center exit being so loose. And it's very evident in the loads of NAS races I've ran over the year. There's no saving. Once you're loose, there's really nowhere to go. One of those walls, either outside or inside, is going to get you. Unfortunately, he caught the pit barrels there and it ended up on top of the pit barrel stack there, the attenuator.
And we saw the exact same thing at the start of the race, where a short run, Bender was great for a lap or so. I mean, he started second and then loose out of turn 4 previously. This time out of turn 2. He's way up the racetrack, way up the hill. When he turns it down, gets back in the throttle, it just gets away from him and pow! Wow.
Kind of rejected by the pit barrels end there. I mean, he was stuck in. He was gonna have to tow either way, but I think that's maybe a screenshot for socials that I like to see later on.
See how it looks from on board. This is going to get ugly here in a moment. John Gifford on the outside of turn 3, or turns 1 and 2, rather. See, I did it. I did it for the first time. That's not turns 3 and 4. It's turns 1 and 2. It's loose. And at that point, you're along for the ride.
Oh, man. He saw he was putting in a lot of wheel into turn 1. Even though he sent it to the outside, he was battling a really tight truck on entry, and he got to the center of the corner. The truck rotated, and then, well, it over-rotated right in front of John Binder. Man, I'd like to know what Binder was thinking, seeing that right in front of him.
That would be an interesting conversation, wouldn't it? John Binder, how brown are the pants? That one. Well, here's our fan cam here at the Phoenix Raceway. Lap 54 now of 150. Looks like with the brand new update, maybe the fans are not getting a whole lot of light from the track lighting around here at Phoenix.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Might need to break out some flashlights out there, but our fan cam regardless. And it really is a great look here at the Phoenix Raceway, being able to watch things kind of from a fan's perspective. This one atop Rattlesnake Hill. The cactus there in the foreground, and the field comes through. This is one place that I've been to Phoenix before. I still have not watched a race from up here. My parents have, and they said it was a heck of a time. And everybody who I've talked to that's watched a race from there has always had a great time. This from atop some of the RVs in the backstretch. Phoenix Raceway is one of the better racetracks to go to for a NASCAR race. And I know it's kind of caught a little bit of heat lately, both literally and physically. Or sorry, literally and what's the word? Figuratively. Thank you.
Yeah.
That one. Not physically, figuratively. But it's a great place to watch a NASCAR race. And these upgrades lately have really done a number and really helped. Look at that yellow cactus there at the front stretch. In fact, we've got something for this, Emerson. It's not just the fan cam.
Oh,
we got oh, and it just extinguished.
The green.
The cactus cam. Affectionately known as the cactus cam. We love the light up cactus here. Thanks.
Looks like it's missing a little bit of life there, but yeah, I'd absolutely love to.
Well, do you want the spines out of it? We don't want needles on that thing. Not right now. The flagman's got to get up there, you know.
And a little bit of a protective barrier, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So Alan Dobbs, the race leader. Matt Dyer, second place. You can see the field getting ready to go back green flag racing. You're brand new to the series. Well, we are in the final race of the season. 21 races. This is the 22nd of them all. Top 4, they come in on an even footing. Dobbs, Noble, Dyer, Binder. Stage points, they don't matter. Everything before now, they don't matter because they've given us these 4 drivers to fight for a championship. We'll watch from the top right. No! Dyer goes nowhere! Big stack up! Anderson, massive crash!
Man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, big pile up back here.
The few trucks that were left are all junk.
And I know earlier I kind of dogged on the second half of the field, but that's not their fault. That all happened because Matt Dyer had some sort of issue on the restart and nowhere for anyone behind him to go. Here's an onboard.
He was in 4th gear.
Oh, no. Oh, trying to save fuel under these yellows. Sometimes you forget to downshift to put it in the right gear because, you know, it's so long for when the pace vehicle dives off the racing surface. Usually maybe as a driver you have like a checklist before you go green, and that kind of is back on to when the pace vehicle leaves the racetrack, and I mean maybe that timing kind of, you know, put him off his step there.
Yeah, he was in 4th gear. No, not a whole lot else to say about that. And hopefully that doesn't damage that car internally. Of course, the way he got hit by Hassler is Clement piles into Hassler here expecting to go green. Can't blame him there, but I would be worried if I'm Matt Dyer getting hit right there in the rear. That could do some damage to the motor. The way iRacing works and handles all of that in the program, that could do some damage.
It looks like everybody except Robert Anderson, who absolutely ate the inside wall. Everybody who got involved in that incident has minor damage or only kind of spun.
Glancing blows, yeah.
Right. So it looks like the majority of the field, for the most part, survives. Robert Anderson, I'm almost confident, probably does not after this. Just nowhere to go. Oh, man, what a hit. Oh, maybe Justin Carey has a big hit there.
That is safer barrier there, but that's not going to help you a whole lot at that angle.
No, it's not. You know, you're pedaling and trying to get past, you know, the impending doom, and he was unable to get past it. And that is a destroyed front grille on that red Silverado.
We're quickly working through the field. I mean, attrition has only just begun to set in. That night, that truck is in tatters. Of course, we saw Gifford and Anderson just now. Rick Webb, that truck is destroyed just about. Dunlop Collins, I mean, look at all everything scraped up and damaged there on the 49. Hassler now has even more damage than he had before. Destini, I think, got a little bit of it. Did he? Let's take a look here. He might have gotten away through okay. I know Richard Clement piled to the back end of Hassler. Dyer got hit pretty good by Hassler. I mean,
I think Dyer got away with a good one there. Oh my God, there's a little bit. I mean, maybe an onboard from Richard Clement could see it. There's a little bit of right rear damage. So the right rear spoilers, right rear end of the spoilers just raised up a tiny bit, but I think he got away with a lot.
Right, I think he's gonna get away just barely. But that's damage nonetheless. I think the only two completely clean trucks in the field are Dobbs and Bender at this point. I mean, what has just happened?
We mentioned this is a tough little racetrack. Even before the relocation to start finish line, this track is brutal on drivers, on tires, on equipment, and it's showing tonight a war of attrition. We're only 60 laps in. We still have 90 laps to go. We still have a stage break in about 30 laps.
Yeah, we've still got the rest of Stage 2 to go. Stage 2 is not even over here at Phoenix, and I mean, we're down to 9 trucks left running, 10 trucks left running. This has not been the story of the MSRA Truck Series by VFW this season, but it is this evening. As again, let's see if we can get a look here from overhead. That's 9 trucks, I think, and one, I think the motor just let go on somebody's vehicle, potentially Matt Knight. I think he was taking the wave around, and I heard a crunch. Regardless, green flag back out. Looks like maybe Matt Knight is okay. Let's go racing again. Everybody else with troubles, but this top 4 still together. Dobbs leading. Bender, Noble, and Dyer doing battle down to turn 1. Turn 3, that one, yeah. I did it again.
I think Noble was contacted there in the left rear by Dyer just a tiny bit. And Dyer, look at this massive shortcut. It's like Mario Kart, that kind of shortcut you can take down there.
You're not entirely wrong. Side by side through 1 and 2. Dyer painting that yellow line. Noble up top with the advantage, maybe. Down the back stretch will go. It's only lap 63 of 150, not even halfway.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the damage to the rest of the field is gonna make the championship 4 look even more like the class of the field as they kind of gap the rest of the damaged vehicles in this field. Bender, though, up to second for the first time in a while. Does he have anything for Alan Dahl, who watched Dyer trying to keep up with Noble? And now there's Bender tailing the current race leader and effectively the current, I guess, provisional champion at the moment.
There you see a good look at the green cactus in the front stretch. Letting fans and drivers alike know the flag status here at Phoenix. You can see the gap dwindling a little bit. Bender closing ever so slightly. This is the most life we've seen out of him since winning last week at Martinsville.
That was an amazing turn 1 and 2 there. He rotated very well, center to exit, and Dobbs kind of fighting the truck a little bit there up the track. It looks a little tight. Dobbs, though, well, never mind. He goes
that was all set in turns 3 and 4. We were watching from their onboards, and Bender made a lot of ground in 1 and 2, went to the other end of the speedway, and Dobbs drove away. Right here, 3 and 4, this is where he's so good. The gap just widens up to 4/10. Whatever Dobbs has got figured out there, he's got it figured out better than anybody else, and that is the difference maker. Whatever is going on in that setup, it has been set up for the run to the checkers.
And you can think of it, and you think of a lot of tracks that have unique ends of the speedway. And how about this battle? This is for third on track, third in the point standings. This is Noble, Dyer going at it, trying to settle it out amongst themselves. There's still a lot of laps left in the second stage. Noble trying to get ahead of Dyer. I don't know. I mean, they have damage in their own rights. Does Noble have what it takes to clear back by Dyer? Because Noble got his, his optionals repair, I'm sure of it. Dyer has not seen the pit lane since taking that right rear damage. Noble controls his destiny on the outside. He'll get cleared for third.
So as Bender starts to drop way back at Dobbs, these guys almost 2 seconds back of race leader Alan Dobbs. And Noble seems to be very tight out of turn 4. That seems to be his Achilles heel. So if there's going to be a move made, it's going to come by way of the front stretch and that dog leg. That is where Dyer is going to be able to set the move up, and then he's going to have to make the move down to turn 1. It seems like every time these guys exit turn 4, Noble just keeps going higher and higher up the hill, using up that right front. It's only a matter of time until it starts driving off in the right rear and gets loose. Look at him, way up the racetrack. Sometimes it's not so bad. That time, it was a little better than previously, but when Bender had gotten to him earlier, it really hurt him.
Oh, absolutely. And I think all you're hoping for now is you're hoping for that right rear to catch up with the right front so that you don't end up plowing the turn 2 exit wall, the turn 4 exit wall down at the rate he's going. I mean, I know there's still 20 laps to go. You want to kind of keep yourself in the race. Even if you lose the spot, even if you fall back from 5th or 6th, you want to keep your truck. Oh, that was close. Right up against the outside wall there.
Sean Giroux has rejoined the field. He's currently 14th, trying to get to 11th. He is one of only 11 trucks left running, and it's only lap 71. Got company from our race leader, Alan Dobbs. Let's see where he goes. Goes up high out of turn 4. Through the Geico restart zone. Oh, boy. That was close.
I mean, he did the right thing. It's just the timing and Bender sideways as he comes through the dogleg, trying to avoid the slower vehicle. Oh, man. It's so hard. I mean, when you're a lap truck, most of the time at a lot of racetracks, because, you'll go into the corner giving the leaders the low lane, but, corner exit, they're washing up to that outside wall. If you haven't lifted, you two might make contact, and that's one of those things where Giroux, I think, understood that, kind of let those two go by, especially because they're a couple of championship contenders, but he's got a couple more here. This will be intriguing to see how this goes down.
And here, I think you might want to give up the top side on the bottom. Try and get to the apron even. As, oh man, you can see Noble's getting loose at a turn 2. That 53 truck is just wild right now. It is not handling necessarily as he needs it to. Of course, loose is fast, but there comes a point in time where it's a little too much.
This dirty air is not going to help either. Man.
There he goes. Lifts. Lets the 53 go on by. Here comes the 2 of Dyer.
Dyer's going to have an adjusted entry due to the lap vehicle there. He's going to have to readjust and set his sights back on Chris Noble if he has anything to say before the end of the stage. I mean, there's still 16 laps to go this time at the line in the stage, but at that Alan Dobbs now opened up, a 1.3 second advantage over John Bender.
Yeah. See the live gap down to the bottom right. Gotta wonder at this point, when does he come around and lap Zenla Collins? What looks like in about 10 more seconds of lap time made up. Maybe 9 more seconds now of track position to be made up here for Dobbs to get to Zenla Collins. You see Collins 17.5 seconds back, and that gap is growing rapidly. It's already almost up a second from when we took this on board of Alan Dobbs. Meanwhile, the gap to Bender continues to grow. I don't know how you get to this 22 truck tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Jacob Zala earlier that Bender feels his truck is perfect. He just needs that long run. Well, here's this long run, and I don't know how long the run's got to be for the truck to click, but you can't let Dobbs get out too far ahead. Eventually, I mean, I know if Dobbs is pushing harder to Bender, that there'll be some overlap, but I mean, I don't know if it'll be enough to regain. I think he's hoping for an all-green third stage at that, because I guess that's all you really put your eggs in the basket for. Especially if you're one of these championship contenders. Stage 1 and 2, just survive. Keep yourself in it. Set your truck up for stage 3. Now, what stage 3 throws at you is all up in the air. Of course, with a lot of the field no longer running, it's not as unpredictable. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of adjustment Binder's gonna have to make here on this stage 2 stop, but it's gonna have to be a large one. He's getting caught here by Noble.
I think a lot's got to be done for each of these guys. None of them look really all that great right now, unless you're Alan Dobbs. He's the only of the championship competitors that looks great. The rest of these guys look good. I mean, any other time, we'd be talking very positively about a second or a third or a fourth place run, but tonight, you cannot settle. You've got to go up there, you've got to perform, you've got to best Alan Dobbs. And right now, it's just not happening. And, I mean, if you're Matt Dyer, you're currently 3.2 seconds shy of it happening after, what, a 20-lap run? If even that. For Noble and Bender, it's about the same. These guys just don't have anything. Granted, these two are about to race a little bit for second, but second is second to Alan Dobbs, and that's for a championship.
Yeah, and I mean, with the way the fuel loads work out, there's not really going to be green flag pit stops in this race, even if we go wire to wire in stage 3. Here comes Noble to the inside of Bender. To the point that, I mean, everything's going to have to be settled on the track, you know, on one set of tires, essentially, even if we go green to the end. Bender doing a great defense up on the high side there, as Noble gets a little sideways, taking the normal dog leg.
And for these three, the battle's great. I mean, this is fantastic, but it's hard to get as excited about it because of how far out Alan Dobbs is. As well, great catch there from Chris Noble. But I think a bit of a scrape to the wall there, yeah, for the 33 is Noble now high in the corner, loses time. Matt Dyer's all over him. These three are going to do battle through the dog leg. 9 laps to go in this stage.
You can see how sideways Noble is getting, trying to get through that dog leg. I don't know what he's got set up with the truck that Bender and Dyer don't, but Noble is hanging on through that dog leg.
The 8 to go this time, side by side, Noble down low. And Noble's going to have the position for now, across the line, he's got it. Does he clear that 33 truck? Yes, I think so. Maybe not, actually.
If Bender can stay to his outside, he's got to keep it up there. He can restrict the exit of Chris Noble to his inside. Still side by side, down the back straightaway now. This is great. Heads up racing. Now Bender kind of on the back foot here as Noble's able to wash up a little bit. Bender did not give as much room as he usually does there through 3 and 4, but Noble looks like he'll handily take the spot.
Dyer down way low. Here we go. 3 wide to the corner. Dyer might have it. Maybe. He's got one of the spots.
Bender will give it to him. Entering turn 1, what really got me riled up was Noble kind of came across the nose of Bender right up against the outside wall, and that could have been very detrimental to their championship nights.
Begin lap 85, and that is a pass for Matt Dyer as Emily Collins crashes on the inside of turn 1. No caution flag. We'll stay green. Collins now a lap down.
Yeah, he's off the racing surface. I think luckily, maybe unluckily, I don't even know what these drivers really want. 2nd through 4th, maybe a caution, but they're having a great battle. They're having fun, I'm sure of it.
But they're 4 seconds back, and they're using each other up. 5 laps to go now on the stage. 4 seconds back of the race leader, Alan Dobbs. I mean, he has completely checked out. He's already out of turn 2. And the next competition is 13 seconds back of the race leader. That is Richard Clemens in 5th.
I mean, all Dyer, Noble, and Bender are fighting for here is who restarts where on the restart.
Yep.
If they make it through the pit lane in that order. That's what all this battling is really doing. Here's all these guys. They've had rough races. Everybody back here has just been involved in incidents in some sort of way, whether causing them or being innocent bystanders. I mean, a lot of these guys. There's Zenla Collins is destroyed, number 2949 mangled truck, right?
Justin Carey is back on the speedway. That is good news, at least, for the driver of the 21. He's in between Hassler and Sestini currently. He is 24 laps down to the race leader and trying to maintain. And at this rate, who knows? Something could happen to Matt Knight again, and he could make up those laps to Matt Knight. Or if Zenla Collins stays out of this race, he could make up that time in those laps. And Giroux right now trying to stay on the racetrack and make up laps to Gifford. He got another 13 to go until he gets that spot. That'd be for 13th. So at this point, these guys are in for attrition. This feels like an endurance race in that respect.
Absolutely, and it's starting to look like one. If you look at the timing sheet, this looks like just one class. Like drivers who've struggled in the opening minutes of a 10 or 24 or 12-hour race, and then the drivers who are just kind of scraping by and still have yet to put their second drivers in and stuff like that. I mean, we're still, I mean, we're now a lap away from the end of stage 2.
1 lap to go in stage number 2. The season finale 150 by Robotic. And it's all the white and blue 22 to fit right in with the race logo. You can see it on your right-hand side of the screen. It's fitting that Alan Dobbs going to run through turns 3 and 4 one more time and leave the 4th corner. A stage winner again. 2 stage wins here for Alan Dobbs. Sweeps the evening in that regard. Matt Dyer will come across second. Then it's Noble, Binder, Clement. And Noble barely gets that spot over Binder. Clement in 5th. And they're way back here. Webb going to come across the line 6th. Then Hassler, Sestini. Collins and Knight will finish the stage 7 and 8 laps down. Wow.
That's wild. When's the last time you heard of a driver 8 laps down getting stage points, not even on the racing surface?
Yeah. I've never heard of that. That's insane. But it because of the big crash we had on the front stretch on that restart a little while ago. Here we go. Pit stops for the top few again. It led down by Alan Dobbs. Somebody who's been patrolling pit lane, getting some information about these guys, what they might do is Jacob Zala. Jacob, what you got?
Well, what I can tell you is we talked to John Binder earlier, and he said, he's in 4th now. He has to be patient and wait for those other 3 to make mistakes for him to win this thing. I went back and then talked to Alan Dobbs and Matt Dyer, and their teammates, they're sitting in the same Discord. Alan Dobbs is counting off the restarts for Matt Dyer, and I said, I asked at the white flag, what are you guys gonna do? You two are teammates, and Alan Dobbs came back with, all bets are off on the white flag. Whatever happens, happens. I just hope that he races me clean. And then we go back to the damage with Matt Dyer, and I asked him, how does that feel? Like, how does the truck feel? And he said it feels good, but he just lost a little self-confidence with that damage. And they both said that they want no one in front of them tonight. They just want to be an Alan Dobbs and Matt Dyer show tonight.
There you have it. Jacob Zala on pit lane. Thanks, Jacob. Not surprised then that the 2 and 22 want to control this race. They've done just that, I think. Obviously, Dobbs a little more so than Dyer, but Dyer, I think, has certainly played his hand in things, breaking up this battle, keeping the 22 out front realistically. The battle that Dyer's put on has really helped Allen.
Absolutely, not letting Noble or Binder generate any momentum of any kind to try to put up a fight with Alan Dobbs over that last stage. Now, with how beaten and battered this field is, I'm a little, I guess not really, but one would question, why wouldn't you take, damage repairs if you had damage? There's only 8, 9, 7 trucks on lead lap, and at that, most of them are damaged. You should get around them relatively quickly, but what kind of a back foot does that put you on in regards to Alan Dobbs? Could you allow Alan Dobbs to open up that kind of advantage? There's some of our championship contenders that probably could have used a little bit of damage repair, say like Dyer. I don't know if there's been adjustments made on Binder.
Well, how about you ask Alan Dobbs about that? From his point of view, we've got him, stage winner.
Well, Alan Dobbs, double stage winner tonight. Basically in command from the drop of the green flag. Had to duke it out with, of course, Matt Dyer there early on. But again, 82 laps led tonight. Alan, the truck looking fantastic, but how's it feel?
It feels great. I can't complain. It's a great setup. It's really fast. It's just really up to me to hit my marks, and I feel pretty confident. As long as we don't get ran over from behind, might be all right.
right here. And one more. This might be the last restart race. How do you plan to kind of control it and get yourself clear to the lead?
Like I said, just got to hit your marks. If you mess up, you're losing something.
Right on, Alan. Well, best luck to you in the final 55 laps of this race. Hopefully, we're talking to you on the far side.
All right, thank you, guys.
Alan Dobbs be the restart leader here. Lap 96. Thank you, Emerson. As we get ready to go back green flag, turn these guys loose one more time. Who knows? This could be the last restart. This could be the money shifts potentially in the best of ways. We'll find out. Green flag back out at Phoenix in the season finale 150. Richard Clement battling the inside of Bender. Bender barely gets back ahead. But the top four stay the top four.
Nobles has looked very twitchy on corner exit. And right there, sideways is Matt Dyer. Oh, he goes around on the front straightaway.
The number 2 regathers things. We stay green. But oh my goodness. Matt Dyer might have just lost every chance of the championship. If this race goes green, you gotta wonder, does it come back to lap 96 and out of turn 4? It would do it. If it does come down to green flag running the rest of the way, that's it.
We now shift our eyes to Noble and Bender. Do they have anything for Alan Dobbs? They have to stick with him as Dobbs goes even fast, is trying to shut and reinforce the door, the grasp he has on the field and the drivers he's competing with tonight. Noble, again, I mentioned his twitchiness on corner exit through the dog leg. I don't know what's up with that truck, but that truck, it's working in a mysterious way.
It's looked unsettled all night.
Oh, yeah. Is there any magic for him to get up there? Dobbs sets a 27 flat.
I'm actually kind of surprised. Times have dropped off a little bit from qualifying and practice. And we're in the 26s. Only about a half second off. Bender slaps the wall. Oh, man. That all over the outside wall at a turn 2 there. Usually it's trucks getting loose. That time he pancaked it.
It's so hard in that dirty air, and now, I mean, you're just surviving. You're hoping maybe for a caution. You need to get that damage repaired. No way that's going to be a race-winning truck if nothing happens to Dobbs and Noble at that Bender in trouble here. And I'd imagine it's just following in the dirty air, the draft, the slipstream, coming off of turn 2 there behind Noble.
Oh, how things change. We had the top 4 in the top 4 all race long until that restart, where Matt Dyer had a problem of his own. Turn number 4, lap 96. Sideways, went for a bit of a ride, falls to 7th. Now, the fact that he only fell to 7th is great if you look at it that way. Pure results, it looks great, but the fact that he is this far back, and he is 6.5 seconds behind Alan Dobbs now. That's over 4.5 seconds back to his nearest championship competitor. I mean, that's huge.
Absolutely, and another thing to think of is, why did he get loose? Was it cold tires? Was it that right rear damage that he didn't repair? That maybe unsettled the truck for a restart. It's been a while since Matt Dyer had to restart with that damaged truck. What happened there for Matt Dyer? And I mean, whatever did happen, if he knows what happened, he'd be beating himself up over and over with it, knowing that he would be the only other one that potentially could go up there and duke it out with Alan Dobbs.
He is at least making ground to Sestini to work on through this field. So, I mean, regardless, by the time we have pit stops, if we have green flag pit stops, he should be back in the top 4. But that's a long ways to go. That's still over 4 seconds up to John Bender, and that gap isn't wavering a whole lot.
Right, and I can't see green flag pit stops knowing that these drivers run 100% fuel. Maybe tires become that bad of an issue because with custom setups now, the way you have to be fast here, sometimes you have to put tire life on the back burner, depending on how the trucks are set up. So maybe if the field is running, I guess, very loose setups overall, maybe tires have to be concerned. But even that, the 55 laps in this final run, I can't see green flag pit stops, but maybe there is something waiting in the wings.
And something I've noticed this entire race is how high up the track these guys are running. The track temp is relatively cool. There should be a lot of grip all over. They're way up the racetrack in all 4 corners. They're even a little bit higher in 3 and 4 than I would have expected. It's now, of course, Dyer kind of trying to prove my point wrong. Trying to call me a liar that time as he works on Bicestini and now Hassler. But I mean, you can see it up ahead. Rick Webb, way up the racetrack. We've seen it from the guys up front as well. And Dyer was doing exactly that laps prior as well. So when we get back down to 1 and 2, really watch Matt Dyer and where he takes this race truck. 3 and 4, about normal. You can see Rick Webb up the racetrack a little bit, but it's really interesting watching these guys work around here right now.
Oh yeah, and it really is. I think the line you have to take. You see, kind of enters higher there. He's not painting.
He's running the middle.
That yellow line. Yeah, you're in the middle there. But what you do, you try to get that truck to rotate. So, oh man, he almost spun it there. Maybe that was intentional for taking the different line. Because what you want to do is enter as high as you can through 1, carry as much speed as you can, and then angle that truck at the center of the corner straight onto the back straightaway. But if your truck is loose, you can't necessarily do that.
Gonna work on by Rick Webb. Take that spot. That's good for 5th. Maybe, not quite yet. Rick Webb not going to just give it to him as Hassler's loose behind. The 2 and 3 do battle down to turn number 3. Eventually, Matt Dyer should get this spot. The Red Rhino number 2 takes it away. The Ford F-150 in front of the Ford F-150.
Yeah, Dyer finally back in the top 5. He has Richard Clement to look for ahead of him. And then somewhat kind of maybe battling Noble and Binder, but I think they're kind of just at riding pace as well. As we ride on board here down the back straightaway, Dyer just trying to close up on the struggling, damaged truck of Richard Clement.
He should get the spot pretty easily. Here we go, lap 110. He's going to make the move the inside of Richard Clement. Easy spot there for Matt Dyer in comparison. That said, he's still in dire need of a caution.
My goodness, these puns.
Yeah. Oh, but it works. I mean,
him.
he really is in dire need of a yellow,
Yes.
though. It's
Absolutely.
very imperative that he gets a caution flag at some point in this race. He's 7.5 seconds. He's lost an extra second to Alan Dobbs since he fell back here and since we picked him back up. So very serious need of a yellow here if you're Matt Dyer. Up ahead, almost 3 seconds clear of Chris Noble. I think it's not over until it's over, but we're less than 40 laps from calling this man our MSRA Truck Series by VFW champion.
It definitely appears that way as we, again, work lap 112 and 150 of tonight's season finale, 150 by Robotic. And Alan Dobbs approaching some lap traffic here, and I guess maybe that'd be the only way something goes awry for this 22 truck, or all of a sudden the right rear
Needs some kind of divine intervention.
Yeah.
I don't think the sim racing gods from above are gonna have anything for us this evening. We've already seen a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah, this race has been quite interesting. Jacob Shorba going to go 100 laps down this next time through. And Jacob Shorba, he's had a great story as of late throughout the Midwest Sim Racing Association various series, mostly the Premier Series. He's been running these support series, if you will, a whole lot more often lately, but for him, it's all been the Premier Series on Saturday nights. Went into Martinsville last week needing to win, and with 10 laps to go, he was the leader. He led at several points throughout that race and really had chances, I think, throughout that race to go up there and take the final championship spot and move on to Phoenix with a chance to win. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out that way. Got tangled up in a few things, as happens at Martinsville late in a race, and doesn't quite get the win, doesn't quite move on. But to have been leading at 10 laps to go at Martinsville, you've got guys like Boyd Hogan and everybody else who makes that series so spectacular. That's pretty special. And I think the extra racing that he's been doing, dipping down to the MSRA National Series and the MSRA Truck Series by VFW, really being able to keep laps going, just keep getting track time and get that muscle memory down. That's big. And it's not like it's bushwhacking like you see with Kyle Busch. You know, he drops down and he goes wins and races. And I don't mean that Jacob Shorba isn't capable, but I think Jacob just wants to get out here for the track time. He's not trying to go out here and spoil the party for any of these guys. Doesn't want to come out here and necessarily win races. He could if he wanted to, I believe. He just wants to get out here and get laps. And unfortunately, taken out very early, lap 13, 14 or so. But it's good to see that number 30 car in the field at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob Shorba, a really great guy, and he said that we interviewed him. I believe it was the Truck Series race at Martinsville last week. More than anything, he felt he needed the track time from Martinsville, and by all means, it is a tough track. This here at Phoenix and last week at Martinsville, those are tough racetracks. Any track time, even if it's a completely different vehicle, like the Xfinity Series vehicle to the Cup Series vehicle, any track time is beneficial. Oh my goodness, truck nearly getting cut off there on our frame. But Jacob Shorba, he's just here for fun, to get that track time. And of course, you know, being the owner of, you know, the series of leagues, he also wants to help out with that car count any way he can. And yeah, he's just here to have fun and to do his own thing.
From one Jacob S to the other Jacob S, Jacob Zala working the pit lane. Jacob, what you got for us?
Hey, I know this happened a little while earlier, but I just wanted to give a quick update as to the thing with the situation with Matt Dyer. So Matt Dyer said in his own words that he felt that his truck just snapped, didn't give him a warning whatsoever. It just snapped on him, got loose, and he spun around. But now he feels like his truck is better. The tires are still great for him, and he's back up to fourth. So he's feeling the confidence is still not there, but he's doing everything he can in his power right now.
Thank you, Jacob. Emerson, confidence is key in these races, especially when it comes down. You've got to be confident. And to be fair, Matt Dyer, I think, has reason for concern, certainly. But you've got to have confidence in yourself, confidence in your setup, confidence in your truck, confidence in the field around you. You've got to have confidence. Otherwise, any lapse in that confidence, and that's where you end up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds behind the race leader.
Right. It really is. Confidence, momentum. Honestly, those sometimes, most of the time, means more than even having a great piece at the racetrack. Because, without a confident driver, a driver feeling momentum on their side, that great piece is going absolutely nowhere. And many people will look at, the Championship 4, and if you're maybe just a casual fan of the series, not hardcore following, you might have even maybe forgotten Dyer was part of that Championship 4, because we talk about Alan Dobbs week in, week out. Chris Noble dominated Las Vegas and won out of Talladega last round to get himself into the championship race. And of course, Sean Bender made headlines with, being in that must-win situation. But you never really heard Matt Dyer's name being one of those star headline names. And maybe, I don't know if he gets into his head that much, but as Jacob said, he's not feeling the confidence. Maybe that stems from not having an all that great round of 8 and just kind of scraping by. Momentum, confidence, all that proves pivotal when it comes to these season finales or any crucial races, cutoff races especially.
Worth noting that Dyer is at least better than these two. He has really closed in these last 10 laps or so on Noble and Bender. But you're right. Everything you said there was right. And I gotta say, Alan Dobbs, he's got to have the most confidence in it. And I don't mean blind confidence. I don't mean confidence to where you enter in 20th and think you can win the race, right? That's not necessarily quite what I mean. What I mean is just confidence that you can go out there and I think be opportunistic. Take advantage of opportunities that come your way. Take advantage and have the confidence to put yourself in positions to take advantage of whatever comes your way and move up through this field and make the right moves. I think obviously it comes down to the driver. You just got to kind of have it. You've got to be able to take certain risks, not take certain risks, and a lot of that stuff can't really be taught. A lot of that stuff in real cars is handled by the crew and the crew chief, so it's not necessarily always something a driver has to possess. And I think that is something that sets race car drivers apart from virtual race car drivers, if you will. These guys, they've got to handle everything. They've got to be a crew chief. They've got to be a bit of a spotter. They've got to have that awareness. As Bender, a great save out of turn 2. But they've also got to be a race car driver. They got to be a team owner. They got to be a mentor. They've got to do all of it. That's what I love about sim racing. That's the difference between strapping into a real race car, mentally anyways, and being one of these guys in a virtual race. Now, obviously, the stakes are completely different. A lot of the situations are different. But when you get into these higher stake situations for a championship and into these better leagues like the Midwest Sim Racing Association, when things mean so much more, it still gets to you mentally, and it still maybe evens out, maybe doesn't. That I can't speak on specifically, but it at least gets close. It's an equivalent, kind of.
I can definitely see that, and of course, you know, I think, you know, the great part, if you are, you know, a driver, you just get to go, you know, strap in, go out there and do your thing. Say you have a crew chief and a spotter that, you know, has signed in with you in the session that can do all that for you, and you have, you know, somebody else worrying about your teammates or whatever it may be. You know, it definitely, I think, helps to, you know, kind of strap in, look at these pixels for, you know, the duration of the hour and a half, the hour and 45 minutes, whatever it may be, and get the best job you can done. But at the same time, if you have to do that all by yourself, it gets a lot. I mean, you're constantly worrying, you know, most races now, the truck series, the way the stages are set up, you don't have to necessarily worry about fuel and strategy for the most part, but most times you're looking at your fuel. Can I make it to this number? I find myself constantly in the NIS races and league races, always thinking, what lap can I make it the X amount of stops to the end of this race on fuel? And it takes so much away. I'm thinking about it down one straightaway. Next thing you know, I'm missing the next corner. It really is. Sometimes it just takes your focus away because you get yourself deep in thought. And also sometimes it's just one of those things when you're running at a race like this. I mean, if you're not like John Bender, who's got, you know, clearly Chris Noble right in front of him, it gets hard to stay focused. And I think that's the hard part right now for Alan Dobbs. Even though he has a 7-second lead and can take it easy, it may get hard to just stay focused.
Well, for Alan Dobbs, this will be the biggest test of his focus all night long. Inside of 20 laps to go. 19, in fact, the last time by the light-up cactus. Here we go. Lap trucks in the way. Gonna have to go through Matt Knight, then Michael Sestini. There we go. You got Sentini, David Sentini in the National Series, Michael Sestini over here in the Truck Series. That kind of gets to me a little bit. But, yeah, Dobbs gets on by Matt there, Matt Knight. Now going to have to try and get by Michael Sestini. Then it's going to be the run-up to Rick Webb and Richard Clement. So we should end up lapping through 5th place here. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. Sestini in deep to the corner. He's going to give room to Dobbs there, but any little thing like that, it could always go the wrong way, right? It could somehow, potentially, sometimes go the wrong way. And as the race leader, coming around, waiting on a championship to fall into your lap, gotta be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, you know, he has a 7.3 second advantage. If he thought Sestini was going to go to the water slow truck here, this is Richard Clement there on the bottom side of the race.
That engine has expired.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, she's hurt. Crawling down the pit entry here, but he will make it behind that pit wall here. He should be okay, even if he can't make it back to the pit box. Actually, he's still got power in it. He can drive back to the box, but that's about it.
Well, as the laps continue to tick away and trucks expire, laps expire, a big shout out goes to all of our partners here at PitStop TV. We've got seasons year-round of various series. We've always got something happening and something is changing or what have you, and it feels like there's never really the same kind of NASCAR season that a lot of these guys go through in the Midwest Sim Racing Association, but this is a season finale. This is coming down to the close of something really, really great. And it's a time to look back a little bit, and especially look back at all the support that we get from our partners here at PitStop TV. Tucson Sound Art, the biggest of the bunch, in so many ways. And even if it's not necessarily the engineering or the work that goes into these broadcasts, the support, that is so huge. The support that goes into these broadcasts, and a lot of that comes from Tucson Sound Art. your picture, your music. Use promo code PitStop TV at checkout for 10% off of your order today. Black Friday, which means, well, Black Friday is on the way. Christmas is on the way. Get your gifts now. Promo code PitStop TV might just help you a little bit. It'll give you 10% off at checkout as one truck is in the pit lane. That's Sean Giroux, well off the pace. We do not expect pit stops from any of the leaders. So Sean Giroux in the pit lane. But again, go to TucsonSoundArt.com for more info about these guys. They sponsor our final laps here at PitStop TV and every single league that we broadcast. It's always very, very special to mention Tucson Sound Art and the work that Pat and Gale and company put in to that company. Also want to mention, of course, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, where you deserve the best care that money can buy. Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV. And BAM Racing Videos, by a race fan for the racing community. We're kind of watching a couple of battles come to a head here. Very interesting how it's all happening. We're down to 12 laps to go. Emerson, the three rest, if you will, the rest of the championship battle is all coming to a close here. Very, very close.
Absolutely. We saw this kind of at the end of stage 2. Of course, Matt Dyer didn't have to endure a slide and work his way through the rest of the field. But here we go once again in the waning laps. Now 12 to go, coming around to 11. And Noble, he hasn't opened up an advantage over John Binder, who absolutely pancaked the wall, by the way. I think that says a lot about maybe Binder being able to drive that thing. But here comes Dyer, taking that Mario Kart shortcut through the dog leg into turn 1.
He's got it.
John Binder, yep, will give away relatively easily. He'll try to cross over, but to no avail.
This next time will be 10 laps to go. Jacob Zoll has been in the pit lane all night long. Jacob, you got anything?
I went down into I believe it is the OSN Discord, and I heard that the things on John Binder's truck, his truck is tight tonight, and the only thing he's hoping for right now is a caution. There's not much that he can do. It's so tight. So he's hoping for a caution to come out to maybe get that truck back in this thing.
Thank you, Jacob. I mentioned inside of 10 laps to go here. This is about it. The chances for a yellow go down with each and every passing lap. And you got to wonder what maybe could have been on one of these previous restarts. And you got to wonder as well if Matt Dyer had been able to keep that truck under control, keep the reins on things. He'd only be about 3 seconds back of Alan Dobbs at this point. And maybe could have kept pressure a little bit longer on Dobbs. Maybe could have pressured Alan into a mistake. Only sit back and wonder.
And again, I said it earlier, but we heard from Jacob a couple of reports ago. You know, the truck just snapped on Dyer. He had no idea. And I keep thinking back to that. Maybe that, that little bit of damage that could affect the handling of these trucks. I know these trucks, they're open setups, but they're set up to a T. They're set up to work perfectly. They're set up to work in the condition that Alan Dobbs' truck is in right now. They're not set up to work a little off balance, a little damaged. And I mean, I know it's the slightest bit of damage, and I mean, you can only see so much, you can only code so much with a bunch of ones and zeros. But I had to imagine something like that, if not cold tires, because it was, I think it was a couple laps at the start of that, so the tires were at least closer to up to temp than it would be off the first corner exit of the restart. I mean, you have to wonder, maybe Dyer, who's already worked his way through the field once, would have paid to just grab some optional repairs and try to work your way through the field and try to see if you have any chance at Alan Dobbs. But here we are now with 6 laps to go, nearly half a lap off the pace, trying to get clear of Chris Noble. Noble fights back, of course, on the outside with a head of steam down the back straightaway into turn 3.
Tell you what, he's going to make sure that if he doesn't win this championship, he's going to be next best.
Yeah,
Matt Dyer,
absolutely.
working on the bottom side. Cross the line that time. It's 5 to go for these two. This is the battle for second. Noble gives up. And he's going to try to the inside. He is looking. I didn't think he was going to challenge that hard on the inside of the corner. But oh boy, did he.
He was fighting that truck on exit. It was sideways. It was every which direction. I'm sure that steering wheel was. John Binder's going to send it from behind. Can he get down there? I don't think he can, but this is the closest Binder's been to Noble since the drop of the green flag for stage 3.
Guys are 11 seconds back of our race leader. the clinic that's been put on this evening. And it helps that the car count was lightened by those early yellows as Binder slaps the wall again. But the car count certainly helped the way of Alan Dobbs' cause. He needed the challenge from Gifford, I think. And when Gifford had that issue, it was all over pretty much, I think. Between Gifford having his problem, getting caught up in a crash, and then later on Dyer sliding out of turn 4 on that restart. Just, those were the only 2 challenges we saw for Alan Dobbs all night long. And this is kind of one of those races. It's felt like a mid-season kind of race where Alan Dobbs checks out. That's it. Points night for these guys. They battle it out. But this is for a championship, and there's just been no challenge at all.
It's kind of appeared that way all season. I mean, you look at his win total. I believe this is going to be, his double-digit win. It's kind of similar to Falkenham.
Yeah, I was going to say, think back to Newark. This will make it 10. Tucson Soundart white flag at Phoenix.
It's just been an absolute dominant season for Alan Dobbs. And, I mean, if there's a punctuation to any season, it would be a dominating performance like this. I think he led all but 6 laps today.
Out of turn 2 for the final time, the double deuce is going to enter turn 3 and leave turn 4. An MSRA Truck Series by VFW champion. He's going to throw it into a slide and celebrate. In Avondale, Arizona, Alan Dobbs, you are a champion.
Well deserved. I mean, you look at the format, and I mean, we kind of say this a lot. There's certain drivers that, there's some seasons, if the format works against them, I don't know if it truly is, a well-deserved. Obviously, it's a legitimate format, but more or less, if there's any driver who should have won the championship, Alan Dobbs, with now double-digit victories on the season. I mean, if you had to pick a champion that felt right, Alan Dobbs definitely is that. Nearly half the season's worth of victories.
Race 22 goes to Truck 22. You mentioned it. Out of 22 races, he wins 10. It's nearly batting 500. In the Braves and Astros World Series, that would be incredible, batting 500. That would be a crazy stat line. For Alan Dobbs, it's just another season and just another year on the iRacing.com service, and he bests the rest. The Midwest Sim Racing Association Truck Series by VFW.
I've had the pleasure to race against Alan Dobbs in a couple of leagues. Not many. Actually, I know people who've raced against him more. And I've never seen utter dominance like he has this season. He's really, put his head down, and he's grinded out, each and every race. Grinded out these. Maybe, we raced in a fixed series before. This is an open setup series. Maybe this is just more his calling. But, I mean, that has been just absolute, masterful improvement at that. Alan Dobbs has been able to put on today, and look at this. He's going to make that hard left turn off the pit lane and into the infield, Andrew.
Yeah, it looks great down there in Victory Lane during the day. Unfortunately, the lighting doesn't really do that truck justice, but he is going to pull it into Victory Lane. Alan Dobbs, a champion. What do you say we grab the driver that has swept the entire evening, almost the entire season? Just incredible stuff here. We'll let him do his burnout here first, and then we'll grab the driver of the 22, capping off almost a perfect season. Emerson?
Well, Alan Dobbs, a phenomenal season. I know here at PitStop TV, we only came in and we saw maybe 2/3 of the season, but we came in at Nashville and saw, the dominance you put on there. At that point, you had 5 wins on the season. Since then, you put on 5 more. 139 of the 150 laps ran tonight went to this 22 truck, and against a stacked field of competition at most points this season, and a hard-fought round of 8, Alan Dobbs, you make it to Phoenix, and you absolutely blow everyone out of the water. How did you get it done?
I didn't get wrecked. I was worried about it all night. I never took a corner entry too light because I knew if somebody could get to my bumper, they probably would take a shot at it. But we had a good, clean race. We had a lot of green flag run there, which I really appreciated. I'm sure there's some people out there that would have liked to have seen some cautions, but personally, I'm really glad that we got to cap off an awesome season with a really good race, long green flag runs, and yeah, it's awesome to be here.
Does the number 10 mean anything to you, or 45%? Does that mean anything to you? Because this season has just been all about you. Nearly 50% of races this season have gone to this 22 truck. 10 wins in a 22 race season is an absolutely remarkable feat. Can you kind of describe what that means to you, and how does it feel to reach double-digit victories in any league season?
Yeah, I mean it's not something you come into a season expecting to do, and we had our ups and downs this season. It's not like we just went out and had a great race every week and nobody could touch us. We had some really good battles all year. Matt Dyer, John Gifford, Noble. I mean, all of them up there, all of them that was up there at the front. All year they've been great competition, and I don't really know exactly. I'll just chalk it up. Darlington, I kind of pulled away from everybody like I did here, and I don't really know why or how it happened, but yeah, I'm just thankful I was able to hit my marks and keep it going straight, and didn't have a bunch of crazy cautions to really mix up tire strategy and the things that really take out the fastest truck. A lot of times, getting back in the middle of the pack with a bunch of people on old tires or something. So I'm just glad we were able to run it through.
I know today, being up front, being first or second. I mean, look at that on the graphic. You've been only as low as second today. That's almost unheard of. I can't really even process that. But the only, I guess, times you got close to any sort of incident was lapping trucks, or when you were battling, or very early on, John Gifford and Matt Dyer. Were any of those moments tense to you? Was there any that you recall specifically that this might be thrown away?
Oh yeah, there was a couple of times coming up on some lap trucks that were they're battling for position, and they're going 2 wide, 3 wide sometimes. Since I had such a lead, I got to take the step back and kind of work my way through it patiently. If I had somebody a lot closer, it probably would have got a lot more hairy. But I think that's probably the biggest thing to take away is just I didn't have to try to push around them. So I was able to survive, because there was definitely a couple of times where things could have got rough.
Absolutely. I only kind of bug you here with a couple more questions, but looking now with the dominance you put on this season, again, 10 wins in 22 races and the championship, the absolute exclamation mark you put on this season, and the championship you now hold. What is your future with the Midwest Sim Racing Association? Do you move up a series? Do you return to the truck series, or what do you, if what do you plan on doing when the season starts? I guess the season start next February.
Yeah, I don't currently know. I know that there's a little bit of issue with the Xfinity series, not being very populated. So I'm not exactly sure how the league's going to go in that direction. But I definitely, I have some offers, move up into the Cup, and I have some people that would like me to stay in the truck series, and there's definitely a few people that tell me to get the hell out of here. But yeah, we're gonna do whatever's the best for us, whatever fits better with our schedule, and we hope to be able to race in some capacity in the MSRA. So that's our goal, but we're not sure exactly what series we'll be in yet.
Well, I sound like a broken record saying this, but Alan Dobbs, 10 wins on the season. You are the Midwest Sim Racing Association Truck Series presented by VFW champion. Alan, congratulations on the dominant season, the dominant race victory. For the last time this season, who makes it happen for you? Who deserves these ultimate shoutouts?
Yeah, just thanks to all the guys at Thin Line Racing, Matt Knight, MK Designs, thanks to Robert Anderson. Once he got taken out, he jumped in and spotted for me, talked me through that last stage. Thanks to, all the admins here at MSRA. I think they did a great job this season. Thanks to you guys for picking up the broadcast. I always enjoy watching them. And hell, who else is on my truck? American Reject Motorsports, FSM Customs, the VFW for sponsoring the series. If there's anybody I'm missing, chalk it up to I just raced the truck, so I'm not 100% there yet.
Right on. Well, Alan Dobbs, a hard-fought 97 minutes behind the wheel of that 22 truck. I'd say pretty lonesome, but hard-fought in wrestling a truck around Phoenix 150 times. Of course, working through a 22 race season, a championship well-deserved. The format worked out tonight, and I think produced the driver who should have won this championship. Anyway, Alan Dobbs, congratulations once again. Dominating tonight, dominating the season, and best luck to you in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Alan Dobbs, 2021 Midwest Sim Racing Association Truck Series by VFW champion. We'll take a step aside. We'll do our post-race break. We'll be right back to you momentarily with more reactions, more interviews from drivers throughout the Midwest Sim Racing Association Truck Series. Don't go anywhere.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway. It's the season finale, 150, presented by Robotic. It's already happened. So, unfortunately, if you missed it to this point, welcome in, but the checkers have already flown at Phoenix. And Alan Dobbs took home the championship, but it wasn't all Alan Dobbs on the speedway tonight. Matt Dyer was right there with him, at least for the most part. Matt Dyer certainly gave it his all, and that, unfortunately, the result tonight matches the car number, but it was not for a lack of effort. The number 2 was there. The number 2 led laps. Didn't quite culminate the way you needed it to.
Yeah, I mean, our truck was definitely like the second best. It's just unfortunate that last run, I went a little bit too far on the adjustments and it spun out after the restart. So. But I was just super proud of the team to battle back to second place after we spun. But I could say I'm disappointed, but I'm still thrilled to be where I am, especially where I started at the beginning of the season.
With a championship on the line, with the season on the line, let alone the race win, what decision making is on hand? What kind of thoughts are going through your head trying to decide what adjustment to make and how far to go on that adjustment? Tell us about that.
I noticed I was starting to lose Dobbs on the long run. It just wasn't. It just seemed like it just wasn't turning as good as he was. So I was just trying to adjust the crossweight and the right rear spring to where it would rotate a little bit better from the center off. And on cold tires, I definitely went a little bit too far. But at the end of the run, it was perfect. I wish if I wouldn't have spun, I definitely would have been closer to Dobbs. But I think his truck was just a little bit too strong today.
It's been a season, it seemed, mostly trying to keep up with Dobbs. 10 wins in the season. Got your own there. I got a race win on the year. But what do you do to build from 2021 and look forward to a much larger, hopefully, 2022 for the number?
This year was just a lot of experience building. It was my first year in MSRA. I started off the year horrendous, and it was just slowly building up confidence throughout the year, and you're just getting better at setups throughout the year as well. I think at the very first race at Homestead, I think I finished dead last. I had no idea what I was doing, and to be sitting here second place is absolutely amazing.
And any other day, a second place finish, not all that bad. And let's be honest, second place in the championship, still not bad at all. Nothing at all to be disappointed with. Matt, who makes it happen for you? Who gets it done for the number?
Everyone at CM Motorsports, Thin Line Racing. We've just been able to put setups together that have been very competitive. I think since Coda, about halfway through the year, we really turned it around. So just to see our progression has been huge. It's just amazing to see how far we've come as a team.
Matt Dyer, 11 laps led on the evening, but it's not enough to match the 139 for Alan Dobbs. Matt, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on a season very well done. Even a night very well done. Recovery well done. Second place on the evening. Nothing at all to scoff at. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Matt Dyer, still a very, very strong showing, even as he goes down swinging. Second place in the night, just ahead of this guy, Chris Noble.
And we bring in the third place driver in tonight's race, tonight's championship, driver number 53, Chris Noble. And Chris, from third to third, you've been as high as second. Unfortunately, never got up to that top spot, but describe the endurance night that was the 150 lap affair you had to encounter here at Phoenix.
A straight up roller coaster, if I could describe it as anything. Car was definitely not handling good. The fact that we qualified third and we're actually pretty competitive, I was pretty happy with, because that is not how we started the testing this week.
Fair enough. And again, you showed up. You were up, there in third, and for a good chunk of that race, even when you, or I guess let's talk about that. Apparently, you got some right side damage. Can you talk about what kind of happened there, and did you end up repairing that as soon as possible, or did you try to hold out with it, or what had happened to the right side of your truck early on?
Apparently we had damage. I don't know where it came from. They told me that we did, and I'm like, wait, what? We tried to fix it in the cautions, but we didn't want to lose too much time, and I would like to say that's the reason why we couldn't run down Dobbs, but I think that the gap speaks just how good he's been running all year.
Well, your season was no slouch as well. Of course, making it into the playoffs is one thing, but then having the round of 8 you did have. Third place, I know it's not a championship or anything like that, but third place on the season still will speak volumes to the driver you are. What do you make of now the entire 22 lap thing tied up in a bow with third place?
I'm pretty stout with it. We started out Daytona with a second, so I was pretty confident. And then when we went to Homestead, we did not run good at all. And we had a stretch there that wasn't too good. But then somewhere mid-season, we actually started running better, and the mile-and-a-half program was just really, really good. And we got into the chase, and like you said, that round of 8 surprised me. So I was pretty stoked about that, almost winning all 3 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to be proud of here, Chris Noble. Again, great runs. It's great to see a fellow Texan do well in these broadcasts, in these leagues. I hold Texas proud at that. But we look forward now, Chris. You finished third. What does the future hold with you here at the Midwest Sim Racing Association Series? You stay here to Truck Series and try to improve upon the third placing points mark. Do you move up, or what does the future hold for you?
We've already re-upped for another season in the trucks. I really like the trucks and how the schedule works out. The distance is pretty good. So we re-upped for another year and hopefully come back and give Dobbs a run for his money.
Right on. Well, a great season, Chris. I think from a lot of perspectives. Of course, Phoenix not going the way that you would have liked, I'm sure. But a hard-fought season, a hard-fought race at that. I saw you battle it out with John Binder a lot tonight. But who makes it happen for you for the last time this season? Getting you here to the championship floor, putting you in the position to perform, putting you on this stage. Who makes it happen for you?
Just everybody at FSM Customs and FSM iRacing, Strunk PC. They do a lot of work with us. They help us out a lot. Also like to thank Jacob Sorba. The league he's put on is really good. Not Matt Dyer, I'm sorry, but what's his name? Richard Clements and Matt Knight. The race directors they did a pretty good job all season too. I know last week wasn't easy on them with all the mayhem at Martinsville. And once again, for the final time this year, my beautiful wife.
Absolutely. Chris Noble, third place finisher on tonight's race. Third place finisher in the point standings. Multiple wins on the season, Chris. I guess congratulations on a season well done. Best luck to you in your future endeavors next season as you try to improve past this mark. Chris Noble, driver number 53 truck.
Thank you.
That is 3 now. Championship competitors out of the 4 that can evening. Fortunately, looks like no John Binder for comment, but what a battle he put up against the other 3 trucks. Seriously, I think John Binder tweaking through a little bit, admittedly, at Martinsville last week, but still very deserving of this spot and fighting it. He showed at speed. He was here to race for a championship. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to happen without issues for Alan Dobbs, as we found out that was the case for everybody in this field. Nobody was going to top the 22 tonight unless somebody else intervened, unless there was some kind of outside influence on the race. That said, finale 150 by Robotic, of course, goes the way of the number 22. 150 laps down. Let's take a look at our results. There you see Alan Dobbs, 12.7 seconds ahead of Matt Dyer. Chris Noble, another extra second back, and it's John Binder fourth. That's your championship four. As usual, the cream rises to the top. Championship four competitors, they finish in the top four. Rick Webb, 1 lap down, finishes fifth. Michael Sestini in sixth. Emerson, the rest of the top 10, rounded out by Corey Hassler, Matt Knight, Richard Clement, who does not finish this race, and Justin Carey.
Yeah, all right, heartbreakers for most of the field. I mean, the second tab looks like, you know, the end of a class in an endurance race. I mean, we look at Sean Giroux, 65 laps down. Zenla Collins with 1267 laps down. Robert Anderson will be 93 laps down there in 13th. John Gifford, 98 laps down, who come on 14th after being very, very sporty very early on in tonight's race. Not the result John Gifford was looking for to try to redeem himself from last Thursday night at Martinsville. Evan Longacre will come home 15th, 131 down, with Greg Newsom 16th, 1 more lap behind him. Jacob Shorba only making it 12 laps into tonight's race, 138 laps down, 17th place finish for league owner Jacob Shorba.
17 trucks in all, and it was a fun one. Phoenix Raceway for the season finale 150. A few more broadcasts coming up on the PitStop TV slate. Here they are, the next 3 anyways, and you know, I've just noticed I got the graphic halfway done today. Anyways, we'll bring that back down, Emerson. You know, it's been a long week. 4 racetracks in the course of 9 days. I guess this one makes 5. Can we count that? Is that for me? Is that 5
Sure.
racetracks? All right, 4.5.
Yeah, we're here virtually.
Yeah, 4.5 race course of 9 days. Point being, we got some great broadcasts coming up on the PitStop platform. Tomorrow night, it's the MSRA National Series finale, the season finale 167. Check. Yes, the finale 167. Phoenix Raceway for the MSRA National Series. Sunday, the Superior Class Auto Racing Sports Car Championship. Say that 5. I said, if you want to make it even better, it's the Superior Class Auto Racing Grid Sports Car Championship. On Sunday night from the Barber Motorsports Park. First time we'll have had a broadcast from Barber down in Alabama. Very excited for that one. Aston Martins and Corvettes battling in the GT1 class. That's all we've got for those guys is GT1 cars, but it is a blast with those cars. V10 versus a V8, and guess what? The Aston has the bigger motor. It should go faster in a straight line. That is backwards from what you might expect between a British car and an American car. We'll be fighting at Barber Sunday night. Then Monday evening, we re-up the BRPI Racing Series. We had Media Night from Charlotte this past week. Corby Daniels even is out in Charlotte. Saw him last night down at ZMAX Dragway for the PRN preview show for the World of Outlaws World Finals. It was a really cool night being a part of all that. They're getting ready to start off their season. So Corby Daniels is a quick flight back up to the Great White North, and he'll get right back behind the virtual steering wheel with everybody else for the BRPI Racing Series. Big blocks back on the way for us. We begin the season at Lernerville this coming Monday for the Pete Costco Memorial. That's 117 laps. Emerson, 117 laps on dirt.
Yeah, an odd number for sure. And at that, 117 laps, that track condition, woo, man, I cannot imagine what the drivers are going to be going through towards the end of that race. There's not going to be a whole lot left to run in there on a track that doesn't even have walls.
Well, it's got a wall. It's got 2. You just got to dig a little ways past, over the berm in turns 3 and 4 to find the wall over there, and then it's got a front stretch wall. It's got walls, just not many of them. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun these next few days. Again, tomorrow night, Friday night, the MSRA National Series. Going to try and make it back from that one. Got to go help set up in Caraway, at Caraway Speedway for the North-South Shootout. That can be found on Pit Road TV on Saturday night. So if you're into that, go ahead and I highly recommend buying a subscription to pitroad.tv. and checking in for the North-South Shootout. We've got Smart Modifieds, and hey, here we go. A very familiar voice to anybody who's watched PitStop TV within the last year or so will be on the call for the North-South Shootout. And I don't mean myself. That would be kind of a cheek, but I guess being a familiar voice. Eric Brennan is on the call. He was the broadcaster of choice, the announcer of choice immediately that we all thought of back in September when it first came around that maybe Pit Road TV was covering that event. Immediately we all thought of Eric Brennan. Will be there. He is calling that event for us. That's going to be a lot of fun. Being able to work with Eric Brennan back in the real world, that's going to be a whole lot of fun for the North-South Shootout Saturday night on PitRoad.tv. So, if you count that into the fold, Emerson, there is action each of the next 4 days that you can follow along within this nice little group here. Of course, 3 of the 4 on PitStop TV with our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Of course, tomorrow night, the MSRA National Series at Phoenix. The season finale 167, that will of course be covered on all of our platforms and our social media. And again, I'm going to try and make it back from Caraway in time for that one. Then Saturday, we've got North-South Shootout. That's on PitRoad.tv only. Then Sunday, it's the Superior Class Auto Racing Sports Car Championship from Barber. That's back on PitStop TV. And of course, on PitStop TV again on Monday, we've got the PRPI Racing Series Eat Costco Memorial 117 lap race from Lernerville. Then Emerson, tell us about the Outlaw Sim Series. First elimination done. 3 drivers, they're out of here. We've got 10 left racing for a championship.
Right, yeah, we have 10 drivers. Their points have reset, and then the bonus points from the season get carried into this round. And the Outlaw Sim Series, with it being a truck series and only 22 races, they still wanted 13 drivers in the playoffs. They still wanted to achieve that without taking up half the season. So they have a 7-race playoff and 2 race rounds 3 times over to get them down to 4 drivers. And so we already went through Kansas and Kentucky. We saw the likes of James Gilliard, Farron Elam Jr., and Joshua Land Fox fall short in that round. But now we look to the Texas Motor Speedway, the newer version that's here in the iRacing Series, the current version in real life, and then the Charlotte Roval. Again, 2 completely different tracks on 2 very similar track facilities, I'd say, both mile and a half quad ovals. But of course, the Charlotte Roval throws a whole wrench into the mix. It'll be intriguing to see how this round goes. A lot of drivers who maybe don't fare too well on road courses we need to put all their eggs into the basket at Texas next Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for race 1 of the round of 10 for the Outlaw Sim Series trucks.
That will do it from the virtual Phoenix Raceway in the virtual Arizona. Happy to have had you all here for tonight's action. We thoroughly hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We certainly enjoyed covering it tonight from the Phoenix Raceway. It was a whole lot of fun. For everyone on the crew this evening, Emerson Arden on commentary with me, Jacob Zala on Virtual Pit Road, Trey Shuttlesworth in the virtual photographer holes around the Phoenix Raceway. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. For everyone at PitStop TV, the 4 of us, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.